Talking about infertility, a lot of women have to deal with this, and we're going to be talking to specialists and break it down about the barriers that women are up against and how there's a success story to share with you, which is pretty neat. And you can hear her probably. She's 11 months old. She's about to talk to us.
We're also going to take a look at diplomacy in D.C. But first, strollers, tiny socks, blankets, and mobiles are all a part of life for parents across the world.
But what if your dream of having a child is interrupted by the reality of infertility? So many women are going through this. According to medical direct fertility specialists, 20% of couples worldwide struggle with infertility.
Infertility consultant Mindy is one of the people helping men and women conceive, and Joy Zucker-Tiemann is one of the people she's helped. And this little one with her is Jade, and she is the part of the success story here. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And in full disclosure, Joy is my former boss. We should mention that.
It's a small world.
Now I get to interview you.
That's fine by me.
So first we have to start with your story and what brings you.
My husband and I were challenged. We wound up with 3 miscarriages before we went under fertility treatments. And unfortunately, after 6 different fertility treatments, we had to go by route of using an egg donor, which is how we came to Mindy. And fortunately, that's Jade is the byproduct of that, and a very successful story. We only had to do 1 round of egg donor IVF, and we were fortunate. We just transferred 1 embryo, and we were pregnant with Jade, and here we have a very happy, healthy 11-month-old.
With full teeth? She's beautiful.
Yes, 8 teeth.
That keep up at night, I'm sure.
Well, more because I'm still nursing, but that's okay.
God.
That's okay.
And how do you go through the process of choosing an egg donor?
You know, that's the toughest part in all this, because you're first grieving the fact that you can't do this on your own. And in my case, we had done IUIs and IVF with our own eggs, and I had the problem. The problem was the fact that my eggs were challenged. But when you find an expert like Mindy, and we actually went to Shady Grove Fertility here locally, so we knew that we wanted to be able to see the donor mother as a woman. We wanted to know what she looked like as an adult, which a lot of fertility places will only show you baby photos. We wanted the option originally of finding a Jewish donor, which wasn't really an option where we were going at the time. And there were just some other things about donors that we wanted to be able to have an option. We wanted to know that our donor wasn't allergic to dogs and allergic to other things, or from a family history that had some of the illnesses that my husband's family had, so that a child wouldn't be predisposed to certain health conditions. So then you have to go to someone like Mindy, who's able to look at donor banks all across the country and find you the donor that you really want to look for. And she helped us identify the criteria that really became important to us, such as not being allergic to pets and other health risks. So
it's amazing how detail-oriented it can be, because Mindy, and you could probably fill us in on this, surrogacy and egg donors seemed very mysterious, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, for people thinking, can I do that? I won't know a lot about, who my baby is or what she's coming with. But this is very popular right now for people.
It's very popular, and the growth of infertility has really been based on delayed childbearing, women choosing to have children at a later age. And so what I help my clients do is financially, physically, and emotionally get through this process. And with Joy, there was this emotional hurdle of coming to terms with using an egg donor, and I think we came to terms with that by finding the right egg donor and identifying the criteria that made her the right egg donor.
And how long are people waiting after trying to have a biological child before they come to you, and how long would you recommend?
Well, the sooner the better, always.
Okay.
And I think it's a grieving process for people to come to me looking for an egg donor or surrogate, so I think that's on everybody's own time frame. But I think if you go into this situation because you're maybe a cancer victim and you don't have a uterus and you need a surrogate, then you come to it a little sooner than if you just give up your biological connection.
How specific can you get? She was talking about she wanted to know about illnesses, which that would be my number one, just so you know your baby's healthy or maybe what you're up against. How specific can you get with technology right now?
Very specific. And in fact, there are so many new tests that are on the market for pre-genetic testing that even before the embryo is transferred, we know a lot about this baby's genetic makeup.
It's just amazing how far science has come.
And what about the future? I know you have some plans that you may or may not choose to follow through, but how often do you think about that, or is everything based on Jade at this point?
Well, you know what, truly every day, and being an older mother, there's no question that every day I just count my blessings. She is a phenomenal child, and we love her dearly. But one of the things that Mindy was instrumental in guiding us towards is being able to think about the future and whether or not, if we ever want to go through this process again, or did we want to have another child, to be able to look at whether or not storing the other embryos that we didn't use, freezing them, would give us the option to have a biological sibling for her, which we have done. And I think, you know, we're still gauging whether or not we can do that. My husband and I are both older, but we're hoping to, and you know, we'll cross that bridge. But right now, it's truly every day is just truly enjoying Jade. And just one of the things that I have to speak to that Mindy mentioned is the fact that you are dealing with so many different emotions as a wannabe mother in the process of. So one of the things that you really have to make sure is that your doctors, your nurses, the other experts like Mindy that you surround yourself with hear you. And, you know, if nothing else, I have to give permission to every mother out there to say, that might not be the right doctor for me. They're not really hearing me. I don't get that they really understand.
You need to find that fit.
Exactly.
I've got to ask you guys this before we go. It's been in the news, and I know it has nothing to do with your company or what you've been involved in, but you know what I'm going to talk about. The woman who got the wrong embryo. Who I think just had the baby. But this is on everyone's minds about, I'm going to get into this, could it happen to me? What safety precautions are used to prevent that from happening?
Well, I can honestly tell you, every stage of the process when we were going through it, you wear ID bands, you have your ID, everything is screened and monitored. When you're in the clinic, even later on when you're having your treatment done, everything, barcoded numbers, social security number, everything was cross-referenced. And at least where we went, there was never a question about whether or not we had the right embryo, the right sperm, etc. So you really have to, again, interview your practitioners and know that you are at the right place and that your gut is going to tell you if you are under the wrong care. And if you see or feel something that doesn't feel right, then you better listen to that.
Speak up. And Mindy, is this just for people that have money, or can people do this if they don't have $5 billion in the bank?
There are definitely ways to finance fertility treatment, and I know we're running out of time, but on my website there is a book all about financing your fertility treatment. It's a free download on the homepage of my website, so I encourage you all to read through those options that would be available to you if you're concerned about financing fertility treatment.
Well, Mindy, Joy, and Jade, thanks for being so good. She's like, I'm just going to eat this book. I'm good. So well behaved.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well, also on the show today, we have this for you.
How can you give one of these faces